the Brixton Cafe Racer. It's a bike designed and tested in Austria, but built in China. And I can already see your eyebrows bouncing now, guys. Built in China, it must be poor quality. But let's have a look if that is true or not, because that might just be something we think it is. Nevertheless, I think the bike itself looks pretty neat. The designers really have the retro type in mind. However, this is only a 125cc. In fact, it's only a 124cc, and it develops about 11 horsepower, which isn't all that much. Nevertheless, it has a 5-speed gearbox, and the engine itself was built in and designed by a Japanese company. Rumors have it that it was built by Suzuki, and now it's been in production in China. The bike itself is about 135 kilograms, which is very light. It's very low to the ground, so that's real good. Now, if you look around on the bike, you'll see that the details are quite good. I mean, the wheels look nice. It has actually disc brakes in the front and in the back. It has, however, no ABS, because that's not mandatory for a bike of this type. It has an LED light in the front, LED blinkers, and overall the bike looks pretty cool, I would say. It's a nice little bike with a lot of retro style on it, and the name itself might be a little bit misleading because they call it a Brixton, and that is actually a city in the UK, so it is more kind of a sales argument to sell the bike better, because it's what we call a cafe racer. Interestingly enough, the engine itself doesn't have a carburetor, but it has an injection, which is quite interesting for a small bike like this to come across an injection. Now, I've drove the bike, it works just fine, and the injection is great. There's nothing wrong with the injection. It idles around 1800 RPMs. But funny enough, it really works well, and when you open up the throttle, it really is reactive towards that. So I think the injection itself is pretty good. Overall, the chassis is a tubular chassis. Very typical for those days. It's steel, and you know, even the welding looks quite good. I don't see nothing really wrong with it, and the finishing overall is really good. I like it, and so far I haven't seen any shortcomings. The chrome is reasonable, all right. I mean, there's some small details on the chrome, but still, I think that's all right. Now, time will tell how good or how bad the chrome is. I think the designers of the bike did a good job. I mean, they had a lot of attention to detail. If you look on the gas tank, for instance, it looks really good. See? And then putting it back is just depressing it, and it locks in place. There we go. I think this is quite nice. And for the rest, the bike is just fantastic, I think. If you look on the saddle, that's kind of interesting. The saddle is actually a monoseat. However, you can take the back part off, and if you take it off, then you can have a passenger that comes along with you. I'm just going to take it off for you, and they have these neat little screws on the sides, and nice detail. And now I can actually take this off, and guess what? Now I have a duo-seater. Isn't that cool? Now again, I have to say that the duo seat is nice. However, the bike is a light bike, and it can take a total of about 150 kilograms of load. So if you put two people on it together, they should not be more than 150 kilograms. So one person is about 75 kilograms. So if you're a skinny guy and not too tall, this is quite all right. Now, don't expect too much from performance. The bike isn't built for highway driving, but if you're lucky, you can get it up to about 100 clicks an hour. And on a real lucky day, with a lot of tailwind or no front wind, you can actually make about 110, 120. But I have to say, at around 100 clicks an hour, the bike becomes a bit uncomfortable. I don't like it too much at that rate or above that one, so it feels a bit unsafe. But then again, the bike isn't built for that. So Interestingly enough, the engine has no limitation on the RPMs. It revs up all the way up to 1200 RPM, and there's no red line on it. Neither is there a speedometer, it's just an LCD. Now the real question is, should you buy a bike like this or not? If you want to have a performance bike or a bike for daily commuting on the highway, then this is not the bike for you. If you're a tall guy or a heavy guy, then this is not the bike for you. If you're looking for some aggression in a bike and, you know, fast pull-ups, it's not the bike for you. If you're looking for a bike that is very good on holding the road, it's not a bike for you. However, if you like retro style bikes for low cost and you can settle with semi-Chinese quality, because there's a few things about this bike that are not optimal. For instance, when I got this one of the blinkers just didn't work. Now my right hand blinker works, the left side blinker doesn't work, right? So small things like that, not a big deal. The chrome isn't everywhere perfect, small little things. But then again, you can't really complain about a bike like this. It's only 2,600 euros, which is very, very low cost. So if you like touring on a Sunday afternoon, you know, every so often, do about 80, 90 kilometers, then this is certainly the bike for you. Don't think you can go touring with this bike, because that ain't gonna work. The bike is comfortable enough, it drives well, it's fairly well built, but again, as I said, it's not perfect, like the small little things I had with the blinker. The chrome isn't everywhere perfectly finished, but overall the finishing and detailing is not bad. I mean, you always have to compare it with the cost. So price quality, this is a good buy, and I really like it. It's a small investment, it's a great bike to learn to drive with it. It's a good starter's bike, and it's low in cost. The fuel efficiency is very good. It's about 2.5 liters per 100 kilometers, so this is really good. Insurance is low, or road tax is low. So overall, I think if you don't mind that the big guys are looking down on you, then this could be the bike for you, and I can highly recommend it. So thank you for viewing. So if you're in doubt, go for a test ride, because that's always the best.